Welcome in, ladies and gentlemen, to NFL Weekly Picks Divisional Round Edition. That means there's only three weeks of the show left for the season, and I made up some ground last week. Brett is now winning with 180 wins, 116 losses to 176 to 116. So we're tied with losses and 4-point different with wins. And the divisional round games are 4 points each. And then the championship games will be 5. The Super Bowl will be 10. So we'll see what happens at the end. Mike coming in early. I'm here for the picks. I'm betting whomever you guys pick today. Okay, a little bit of pressure. I'm taking Ravens, Bills, Niners, Detroit, all favorites. Nice. We'll definitely get into that. Brett, how you feeling, buddy?
I was feeling better last week when I was up by 10 games. Now I'm only up by about 4 games, so it makes me a little bit nervous. You know, that bet's still coming alive, but I'm feeling pretty good. I do want to say for all those that were in Western New York with all the snow and everything, I hope that you are safe, number one. And hopefully you guys, I imagine everybody has electricity up there, but hopefully everybody's safe. Hopefully, you know, you didn't do anything stupid where you jumped into a pit or something like that. You know, you never know, that could happen. But
the pit needs to be fed.
The pit needs to be fed. That's the biggest thing. So I'm going to continue saying that, but you know, just be safe and make sure you do it in the snow.
Yeah. The pit must be nourished, and Taylor Swift is coming. So Kathy Hochul said, "Don't feed the pit," but you know, we can't disobey. So can't disobey the pit's orders.
Hey, I'm running off of a 6-game winning streak where I haven't cut my hair since the 6-game winning streak. And then I've shaved since then because I got married and everything. But I'm going to try not to shave. I'm going to try and keep it growing and just have that Fitz look where eventually it's going to be all the way down, you know, like a ZZ Top type of style. That's pretty much what I'm going to try and roll with.
Absolutely. Love it.
I might have to get a top
hat. I agree. I think you should get one. All right, Brett, I'll let you start off first with the first game. You got rookie CJ Stroud headed into Baltimore to face Lamar Jackson, that 2023 more than likely MVP. They haven't played in 2 weeks, most of the starters. A couple starters did. But offensively, I don't think many did. And the Texans just came off of a great win that I predicted against the Browns. And, you know, technically they've had a playoff game for 2 weeks in a row now, going on 3. And, you know, they looked really good, offense and defense-wise. So it's going to be a tough game. CJ Stroud trying to make a name for himself his rookie year. How do you feel like this game's going to go?
Honestly, I think the Ravens are going to win this one, but this is one of those games where CJ Stroud can definitely make sure I like this comment, though, from Nickel City Mafia. Real quick, I'm just reading it. I was wondering why Brett hasn't brushed his hair in a while. So, yeah.
He's just lazy, Mike.
Yeah. Hey, listen, probably the last time I brushed my hair was around the time of the wedding. So, you know, it's part of the tradition. You don't brush the hair. I have washed the hair. Don't get me wrong. I have washed the hair. That's happened. But
is that a tradition not to brush your hair?
No. Hey, I mean, it could be a tradition. I mean, listen, if it happens, it happens. If the Bills win the Super Bowl, you'll thank me. But I'm going to take the Ravens, though, in this game. I mean, the Ravens defense is one of the best in the NFL, but the Ravens offense has been putting up a lot of points, and they're adding in Dalvin Cook now, who's going to be on the active roster. I think that just makes Lamar even more unstoppable. And it doesn't matter what running back that they have in the backfield, the running back, whoever it is, does a great job. So I'm going to take the Ravens to win this one. I think that Zay Flowers is going to go off in this game. And I look at the Texans defense, which is 26th in the NFL. That's one of the biggest issues that I have with them. They're going to give up a lot of points on this offense. Sorry about that. My dog is getting up on the counter real quick and trying to get toys. Okay. But trying to make sure that we she's got a McDonald's toy, which is kind of funny. But definitely going to be making sure that the Ravens win this game. I think that they're going to have a good time in this game. Roquan Smith's going to go off. I'm going to tell you that right now. He's going to go off. He's going to have a lot of plays where he's going to go off. But this game could be close. CJ Stroud's been playing very good football, but I just don't see a reason why the Ravens are going to lose this one.
Yeah, I'm gonna get into that, but I want to go to Mike's comment real quick about the pit. It's kind of just like a funny thing. Okay, so
Do you want me to explain it for you?
no, I got the Facebook post here. It says Buffalo attorney warns Bills Mafia do not feed the pit, talking about the new stadium pit. And it's just like an ongoing joke. Like the pit must be appeased. You must feed the must feed the pit. This is really kind of silly.
This started back like week 2 when
Yeah.
the Bills started groundwork on the new stadium, and they were pretty much, they started digging out the 100 level for the stadium, and when they did that, there's a guy that was pretty much high on LSD, and he decided that he was going to climb over the fences, butt naked, number one, go into the pit, and he was gonna urinate over there. So he ended up falling in the pit, and the tradition has started. The Bills ended up winning 3 games after that. Then when they got off to this losing streak, number 1, against the few teams, they decided to restart it again. And we were running on a 5-game winning streak. Now we're on 6 games, and the tradition is still alive. They're still doing it. And whenever somebody falls into the pit, the Bills win. That's pretty much what it is. So I'm not condoning it. Number one, I'm going to say right now, I'm not condoning it, but the pit needs to be fed. So,
it does.
I mean,
hungry.
somebody's got to, figure it out. You got to make sure that you're doing that. I mean, that's pretty much what it comes down to.
And if we have to, we might have to throw Jake in there just to make sure we get the win. But that's last case scenario.
Don't spoil anything. We got a Sunday sit down coming up with Jake Podgers, so that very well could be the truth or lie your ass off question.
Got to save them. All right, so going back to the Ravens, I also agree. I think they will win. Again, I don't like it for Ravens and the Niners. They both rested for 2 weeks. I got a lot of friends that are Ravens fans too up here, and one of them who I've been good friends with for a long time, he doesn't believe in that kind of thing. Like the too much rest hurts you. I only say it does because I've seen it happen to our team. After we have a bye week, we always come back and play like crap. So could be different for them, but it's good. It's good and it's bad. They get to rest and get healed up, but then you're not playing for 2 weeks. They probably had to have some padded practices where they're hitting because, the Texans are hitting and they're, playing meaningful football, getting all amped up. So they might come out rusty, but I think the Ravens will win. As I mentioned before, I like CJ Stroud a lot, but one thing people have to understand too is they have 8 or 9 home games a year. We'll say they had 9 this year, all in a dome. They play in Indianapolis once a year in a dome. So already they play 9 or 10 at least out of their 17 games in a dome in perfect condition. Then they play Jacksonville in Jacksonville, which is more than likely a perfect condition, and so on and so forth. So I just don't see Stroud as a rookie head coach, who both have been phenomenal, go into Baltimore and beat Baltimore in their element, as good as they've been. And if they did, I don't see the Texans going and beating Kansas City or Buffalo if somehow they beat the Ravens, but I don't think they will. I got the Ravens. And then Mike said, yeah, he'd volunteer to do it for a win. Yeah, he absolutely would. And then next game, Niners and Packers. Packers looked really good, surprised us all, and beat the Cowboys. I didn't see that happening. Jordan Love, counting the playoffs, his last 8 or 9 games, 24 touchdowns, 1 interception, and they were 2-5 at one point. And he's looked really good, really bad at sometimes, and then really great at sometimes. And you see a little bit of old Rodgers in him, so it's kind of funny. But again, I think most Packers fans are just happy they made it this far this season. They have the youngest team in the NFL, which I'm all about getting young. That's why I love Poyer and Hyde, but I wanted to start getting younger and younger. because that's how you build long sustained success, is having a young team. And, a quarterback in his first true year starting, winning you a playoff game, getting you to the playoffs, and, playing really good football. But again, I mean, say the same thing. Like, they could be hot, and then the Niners could be, haven't played in 2 weeks, so who knows? But with McCaffrey coming back and Brandon Ayuk and George Kittle, I just feel like the Niners have too much talent to lose this game. They might lose the next round, but I don't see them. I don't see them losing this game. So I got the Niners.
Yeah, I'm in agreement with you on this one too. I think the Niners are going to win, but I think this game could be a trap game for the 49ers. And I'll tell you why. Jordan Love has been playing very well lately. I mean, if you go back to last week, there's many throws that he made that were by far the most spectacular throws that I've seen from a quarterback other than probably Patrick Mahomes or Josh Allen. But some of the step back throws that he was making, ones that were off his back foot, they were to mostly open receivers throughout the whole entire game. And it seemed like to me in that game that the Dallas Cowboys forgot how to play defense. And I saw many plays to the tight ends, many plays to the running backs that, I mean, Aaron Jones had 3 touchdowns in the game. So I take that into effect. I think that the 49ers defense is better than the Dallas Cowboys defense, but there's areas of concern for that 49ers defense. So I don't think that this is going to be one of those games where the 49ers are going to win easily. I think that there's going to be a lot of ways that the 49ers can find a way to win. Or to lose, I'm sorry. But I definitely think that the Packers are going to keep it close. And I wouldn't be surprised if they won this game, but I'm going to take the 49ers in the end. It could come down to a field goal to end the game.
Love it. He said I need to gain ground. I'm going to have to go against Brett. Well, we do have the championship rounds and the Super Bowl. So as long as we go opposite in one of the ways, I can still win. I'm only down by 1 win. So if I did go against the grain, which it's tough to, and that's the thing about playoff football. I mean, part of me wanted to pick the Packers because
part of me did too. Part of me was, I mean, thinking about this and everything when we were considering the picks and everything. I said, listen, I could see the Packers winning this game, but I think that Brock Purdy, number one, and Christian McCaffrey and George Kittle, all the weapons that they have, including Kyle Shanahan, who's been to the playoffs many times, who's taken this team very deep in the playoffs as well. They're a veteran team, and they are going to make sure that they're ready for this game.
Yeah, definitely. All right. We got Bucks at Lions. Lions hosting another playoff game after they won their first one in 3 decades. They looked really good, and I'm really happy for them. But who do you got winning this game?
This is one of those games where you can go back and forth. Baker Mayfield's been playing very good football lately, and the Bucks defense has been outstanding lately. And I give a lot of credit to Todd Bowles and number one, the pass rushes they're getting from Vita Vea as well as Kalijah Kancey and then you add in Shaq Barrett and you add in some other players as well. They're doing a very good job on defense. And the linebackers there with Devin White as well as Levante David, they've done a phenomenal job. But for me, I think the biggest thing that concerns me about this game is the defense of the Detroit Lions. And they've been up and down, but they've given up a lot of points overall. And this is one of those games where if you're somebody that likes to bet like myself, I'm looking at this game and I'm looking at guys like Mike Evans. And he's at about 70 yards for the game. That's where his over-under is at. I think he's going to go over 70 yards. Trey Palmer, another player who last week had, he got a touchdown. He's at like maybe 19 yards in the game. Take the over on him too. I think that this is one of those games where it's going to be a slugfest. But in the end, I do think that the Detroit Lions are going to win this one. But don't be surprised if the Tampa Bay Bucks win this. This is a game where Baker Mayfield can come out and light it up. But I mean, I'm kind of thinking that the Bucks might win it. But Detroit is a hot team. They got good running backs. They got Sam Laporta. They have St. Brown as well. And I'm going to say this too. Coach, I can't even think of his name. I always want to call him DCMC, Dan Campbell. He is one of the best coaches in the league, and he's going to make sure that this team is ready to go. They're going to be fired up. They're going to be pretty much going crazy.
Yeah, that's a tough one because Tampa Bay looked really good, but then remember how bad Philly actually was.
Yeah.
I don't know. I guess it makes our win against the Bucks earlier in the year look a lot better than people try to make it seem, because here they are again fighting for NFC Championship berth. It's funny because people asked Todd Bowles preseason, why go with Baker? And he says, we can win with him with this team. And there you go.
Yeah,
now they're division champs, won a playoff game. So that's already a success after what they had last year. I'm still going to go with the Lions. I just think that they're too good offensively. And I think the Bucks, although they played well, could be fool's gold because Philly could have been, besides Pittsburgh, Philly and Pittsburgh were the worst teams in the playoffs. And you could argue that the way Philly finished 1-7, they didn't even deserve it. So I'm going to go with the Lions here.
Yeah, I agree.
And
100%.
Yeah, but again, I won't be surprised if the Bucks win. But it'd be cool, if it can turn out to Lions Bills. I think that'd be really cool. Two teams that never won it. I guess you could say the same thing.
I'm going to tell you this: if it came down to the Lions and the Bills, I would be heartbroken. I would be upset and everything that the Bills lost, but I would also be okay with the Lions winning in the end.
I don't know. I think you got to. If you experienced it, you'd be
right away. I wouldn't be okay right away. I'd be okay that the Lions won because the Lions never won it, and that's where it comes down to. I have a lot of respect for Detroit. Number one, for all the times when Buffalo had games where they're snowed out, and we were able to play games inside of Detroit. The way that the fans act. Number two, they've been very kind to us over the years as well, and the relationship that we have with number one, Ralph Wilson loaning money to the Detroit Lions to be able to pay for the stadium and to be able to pay for the franchise. That's something that the Bills have done. So there's respect back and forth. So I wouldn't be too upset in the end with the Lions winning the Super Bowl. Obviously, I'd be heartbroken that the Bills lost, but I'd be okay with it in the very end. This is where I would say.
I get it, but you know what? I don't care how nice people are. It's either you're happy or me. I'm picking me every time, baby. So screw them damn Lions and them fans if it's Super Bowl time. But I get your point. I feel the same way. Like Niners, I don't want. They already won a bunch.
Yeah.
And then Bucks already won with Brady recently. It'd just be cool. It'd be cool, but. Again, then it's like, oh, the Lions won a Super Bowl before the Bills did. They won their first playoff game in 30 years. And, it's our time. It's our time to get one. And speaking of us.
Like, even if the Texans won, I mean, I'm just going to say this right now. I'd be heartbroken that the Bills lost. But I'd like to see the Texans win a Super Bowl. I would love to see that. I'd like to see every team.
Not this year.
That's not – I don't want to see the Bills. I don't want to see the any team that's in the Bills division win a Super Bowl. I hate that. But
I don't want anybody younger than Josh or the same age as Josh get a Super Bowl before he does, because then it's just never ending. Right. Especially if CJ Stroud as a rookie goes and wins a Super Bowl. Josh isn't even a top 3 quarterback in people's eyes anymore. He's just he's forgotten about CJ Stroud, Joe Burrow, Jalen Hurts, Pat Mahomes, Lamar Jackson. So if Texas won a Super Bowl, I'd be extremely pissed off. I don't care that they never won one. They can win it in 2 years. They got a 5-year deal They got 5 years with their rookie quarterback. They can win it anytime then. But let's get into our game. Speaking of winning the Super Bowl, starts here. So Bills finally get a home game versus the Chiefs in the playoffs and in general because, as Deion Dawkins said, the last time we played, we had no fans in the stands. So it's completely different because that's really what home field is. Home field isn't just, oh, you like your turf better than someone else's. It's the crowd, it's the environment. So if it's just a football field, sure, it's your home. You get to sleep in your own bed. Your wife makes you dinner or whatever. But it's totally different when you got the fans there and the fans, being electric like they're going to be. So I think that does matter. We haven't beaten them in the playoffs yet. So again, I did say that I would have to pick the Chiefs because we've never beaten them, but I got to do my homer pick and pick Buffalo. But I agree with that statement of we can't really, we can't talk like we're that, this and that until we take them down. They're still Super Bowl champs until they lose this week. And then once they lose, then it's our time to talk. And but as far as teams go, we're a better team. They're a little bit better coach team. Quarterbacks, they're extremely similar. The last 50 game comparison, their win and loss records off by one game. Josh has like 20 more touchdowns. The completion percentage is the same. The yards off by 200. The yards are off by 200. The interceptions, Josh has 7 more interceptions than Mahomes does. So really, they're basically identical. Minus they went to 3 Super Bowls and we went to 0, and they won 2 of them. And he's got 2 MVPs, 2 Super Bowl MVPs. But you win this kind of game, you become 4-3 against Mahomes. We're 4-3 against the Chiefs in their era. We beat them in the playoffs, and nobody could say that no more. And then everything changes. And then if you beat them, and you either play the Ravens in Baltimore or you play the Texans at home, I think if we win this game, we could make it to the Super Bowl. Now I don't know about winning it yet. We got to see, but this is a massive game. We'll get into it tomorrow on the Ruthless Show.
Sure.
But it's, and I'm going to bring it up tomorrow too. But I just want to say it now in case I forget. What I liked most about the Chiefs this year was that Mahomes was on the same level talent-wise as far as weapons around you as everyone else, minus Tua and Joe Burrow, who have way more than everyone else around him. He still has Travis Kelce, an elite weapon. He has a great offensive line. He has a great defense, and he has a good running game. So Allen in his whole career had one elite weapon. We had a decent run game, and we didn't have a good O-line until this year, and we always had a pretty good defense. So now that he's on the same level as everyone else as far as surrounding cast, he's starting to play not like the top 3 quarterback in the NFL. But because he earned the accolades already, he will still be looked at as number 1. But if Josh can come in here, Super Bowl MVP, then he's only got 1 less than Mahomes does, and the stats are better than Mahomes, then it's a whole different conversation as far as legacy goes. So, and Mahomes is still an elite quarterback. He's still one of the best players in the NFL. But people say stuff like, oh, well, they're as vulnerable as ever. But then they'll say stuff like if the Chiefs do win, then they'll be like, oh, they're the same old Chiefs. You can't count them out. So which one is it? Are they the same old Chiefs or are they vulnerable as any other time? Because you can't have both ways. They're either a good football team with the best quarterback in the world and the best coach in the world, or they're not a good football team and they're vulnerable. So, and then you see that everywhere else. The media is just, oh, the Bills better win this one. They're at home. The Bills need to win this one. They're at home. The Bills have the advantage. They're at home. But then they forget, like, I thought Mahomes was the best quarterback in the world. So what advantage is it to be at home, right? If he's that good, it shouldn't matter if he's away or home. So, again, and he's still an elite quarterback. But I just thought it was funny how when the playing field leveled out, his game didn't elevate. He decreased. And guys like Josh Allen have always been increasing. And this could change the trajectory of legacy as far as these two. But we'll get into it more tomorrow. I got the Bills winning. But I still, deep in my mind, I'm like, well, until we beat them, I just can't pick against my team. But mentally, I already know we got to beat them first.
Agree. I mean, 100% agree. And this game, I mean, let's just face this. I mean, we're going to be facing Patrick Mahomes, who's one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL, with Travis Kelce, who's one of the best tight ends in the NFL. And then you have the emergence of Rashee Rice, who's been one of the better receivers for the Chiefs as of late. And he's starting to come around. He's a wide receiver out of SMU. I think they got him this year, actually. And he's been making a name for himself. I'll tell you that. And you add in the run game over there as well. And that's one issue that I have with this game is that they can start to run the ball with Clyde Edwards-Helaire as well as Jerick McKinnon and Isaiah Pacheco. That's going to be something scary to watch. The Bills are decimated right now. They have a lot of injuries. You talk about Gabe Davis being out, Taylor Rapp as well, Tyrell Dodson, and then they're also going to be missing I'm trying to remember who the other one is, but Balen Spector. And you also have Terrell Bernard, who is right now questionable at best with a game time decision status, and Rasul Douglas, who you don't know if he's going to play. I know there's reports that he is going to play, but you don't know. I mean, it just depends on what the Bills feel like he's going to be. And all these injuries and everything, they have me worried about this game because I mean, Patrick Mahomes can light it up. He can get the ball out of his hands and everything. He can make sure that he dictates the game. And Steve Spagnuolo's defense has been playing very well as of late too. And that's what concerns me about this game. But I mean, I'm a Bills fan. I'm not going to go against my team. I'm going to take the Bills to win. I think that's the best thing to do. But this is one of those games where I think that the offense of the Bills is going to have to step up. And it's going to have to come down to guys like James Cook and the DK brothers and Trent Sherfield, as well as Deontay Hardy. The guys that are no names on this team are going to have to step up. And I'm not saying that they're no names. I'm just saying that they're not Stephon Diggs. Everybody that's not Stephon Diggs and isn't the elite of the elite, they're going to have to step up just like they did in the last Chiefs game. And the offensive line is going to have to do a good job too. They're going to have to establish the run. They're going to have to dictate time of possession battles, and they're going to have to put a lot of time on the clock. And then the defense is going to have to come up with some turnovers in this game, and they're going to have to capitalize on those turnovers. But those going to be the biggest things that I'm going to see in this game. But you're going up against a Chiefs defense that's very good. Ladarius Sneed did a very good job of locking up Tyreek Hill in the game, and I think that they're going to do a good job of locking up Stephon Diggs too. But it comes down to, can the Bills do what they did last time? And can they have the DK brothers go down the field and get open? And I think that that's what's going to happen. I think that the middle of the field is going to be wide open in the Steve Spagnuolo defense. And if Josh Allen can capitalize on that, that's going to be how the Bills win this game.
Absolutely. We'll talk more about it tomorrow on Nickel City Mafia. Get our whole breakdown. Yeah, great points. Couldn't agree with you more. We all picked the same thing, so we'll have to wait till next week to maybe see a change in the prediction, in the record. So no matter what happens, it'll still be the 4-point difference because we picked all the same picks. So it'll be the same either way. Brett, thank you again. We only got 2 shows left for the season, and we will see what happens. But make sure you head over to Go Bills Podcast and subscribe. We put out a great video recently about mental health. Go support that and listen to it. Great messages throughout and stories. And then Nickel City Mafia will be over there tomorrow. Subscribe to them as well. Like this video. Subscribe to the channel if you're new. Put your picks in the chat. And I didn't say out loud, but what's up, Mad Chatter? I still can't say Battlehawk Superfan. It's just too much words.
Yeah.
But
doesn't sound
Mike
right.
says BH. But thank you guys for tuning in. We'll see you next week. Go Bills, and hopefully we'll see you tomorrow too if you come in. But we'll see you on this show next week. Till next time, go Bills, and thanks for coming.
Go Bills.